駆け抜け青春、スパーキング。
Alright, we're here.
ここでするんですか？
That's right. Take a good look at all the people here. There was an elderly couple sitting on a bench, and a lady taking her dog for a walk. Some kids are playing nearby as well. Lots of kids and reasonable-looking people, right?
そうですね。
Wouldn't they be optimal people to practice talking with? It was better than approaching a huge crowd of young adults or office workers out in front of the station, at the very least.
ですが、知らない人相手にどう話せば。
Doesn't that depend on what sparks the conversation? Well, first you start off with a hello, and then with a how you doing, and then you can evolve into what are you doing, and then the conversation can flow from there. If it's difficult to talk to them normally, then look for something you can use as an icebreaker. How much does a polar bear... Never mind. Come to think of it, think you can do that?
話のネタと言われましても、いい天気ですね。
Small talk is the bane of every introvert's existence, alright?
ダメです。うまくいきそうな気がしません。
That is why the best way to converse with someone as an introvert is... converse with a stranger as an introvert is to find a way to get onto a topic that you're actually interested in and go from there, alright? Because once it's out of the small talk territory, then it's easy to converse. It was still difficult for her, huh? Got it. I'll help get the conversation started again. Then, after that, do your best to keep the conversation going, okay?
わかりました。
From members of her own club to strangers. It was a small step, but it should still be a step up. Let's see then. Who should we talk to? I had suggested she pick a topic to help drum up a conversation, so I should take this opportunity to show her an example. Yeah, let's go with that nice-looking lady who brought that puppy with her. Excuse me?
はい、何でしょう。
I am not hitting on you. I have a girlfriend. and then you can no longer continue the conversation. Your puppy is super cute. It looks really fluffy. Would you mind if I pet him?
いいわよ。優しく撫でてあげてね。
Thank you very much. Whoa, he really is fluffy.
あなたたち、犬好きなの？
Yeah, they really are cute. I prefer cats more. You love dogs too, huh, Shiori? I invited Shiori into the conversation.
はい。
Alright, she followed my lead.
そうなの。人懐っこい子だから、いっぱい可愛がってあげて。
Go on, Shiori.
私も撫でていいですか？大丈夫よ。優しくしてあげてね。
Shiori timidly reached her hand toward the puppy. When her fingers made contact with the canine, he happily nuzzled his fluffy cheek against her.
よしよし。舐めてくれました。くすぐったいです。あなたに撫でられるのが気持ちいいみたいね。
Oh. Is she finally starting to converse with the person instead of the dog?
どうしたの？この子の名前なんて言うんですか？
Oh. Shiro is striking up a conversation with someone she just met for the first time.
小太郎よ。いい名前でしょ？小太郎。気持ちいいですか？小太郎。
小太郎、嬉しそう。
そうですか。よかったです。
小太郎、お姉ちゃんに可愛がってもらってよかったね。私、毎日ここを散歩してるから、またこの子と遊んであげてね。
We will.
また遊ぼうね、小太郎。
Yeah, the artists need to milk this background, okay?
じゃあ、またね。
The lady gave us a quick wave and walked off. You did it, Shiori. You broke the ice with someone all on your own, even if you spent more time talking to the dog than her.
ありがとうございます。先輩のおかげです。先輩がいてくれるって思えたから頑張れました。
Despite joining the conversation midway, this was still a major accomplishment for her.
先輩の話しかけ方もなるほどでした。犬を話のきっかけにするんですね。
Yeah. If it would be difficult to start a conversation normally, then you can use something else. There are very few people who would get upset when you give them a compliment.
なるほどです。少しだけいけそうな気がしてきました。
Oh.
少しだけですから。
Alright, let's do our best and keep this trend going. There was the elderly couple sitting on the bench, and a parent and child who had come here for a walk. She could take her time and jump up conversation with one of these people. So hot. Unsurprisingly, it didn't go nearly as smooth when she tried to start a conversation by herself. Shiori was certainly trying, but she froze the moment she opened her mouth. I could tell by looking that she was panicking.
ゆう先輩。
What is it?
これ、効果あるんでしょうか?
Well, if you keep embarrassing yourself in front of strangers, over time, you'll build up the confidence to not care about embarrassing yourself in front of strangers. So, yeah, I guess it would work. I guess this is working. Coming up with a topic that would serve as a common interest with a stranger was certainly difficult, especially when there was a difference in age. Well, it's not the difference in age that would be the problem, it's the lack of what's the word? It's the lack of obvious, like it's not like one of the it's not like someone is reading a book and then you can easily find a topic to talk about from either the book or the in general, or like reading in general, right? With the dog it was pretty easy, right? Talking about how you like dogs, it's not that, it's an easy way to start a conversation, right? You just see an elderly couple, it's like, what can you talk about? World War II. Being a pet owner herself, she already had an easier time communicating with the lady with the dog, communicating with the lady with the dog earlier. It's not because she was a pet owner, it's because she could use the dog as an easy way to escalate the conversation. Escalate's not the right word. Continue the conversation so that it isn't just small talk.
失敗なのでは?
To be honest, yeah. I was sure everything would go well when I suggested it yesterday, only for it to end poorly. How about we take a quick break, then change tactics?
そうですね。私、飲み物を買ってきます。
That's okay. I can do it.
いいんです。一緒に頑張ってくれてるお礼ですから。
She smiled and headed for the vending machine. I wish there was some more I could do for her. She already trusted me and was trying her hardest. I could only hope this experience would eventually live up to her expectations and walk up to the elderly couple, say, I have grandparents too. They're also old like you two. But I was already feeling skeptical of how well all of this was going to turn out. She was clearly trying her best to communicate with others, but I couldn't figure out why this was going so poorly. Well, I just told you why, so, you know, you guys know why. He still doesn't get it. Was I overlooking something important? That's... Springboard, that's the right word. Shiori needs a topic to springboard off of to easily easily flow. Fuck. I'm blanking on the word. I'm blanking on the words again. So she can talk better, alright? That's basically the gist of it. No small talk, all talk about certain thing. Shiori was talking to a kid over by the vending machine. By the vending machine? And she looked kind of troubled. The kid is lost. Shiori, what's up?
ユウ先輩。
兄ちゃん、このお姉ちゃんの彼氏？
Huh?
俺たち、お姉ちゃんにお願いがあるんだよ。
Really? Oh, there's more kids. I thought it was just one kid. Hang on, let me... Look, wait. Yeah, talking to a kid over by the vending machine. So I thought it was just one kid. There's two.
女の気持ちを教えてもらおうと思って。
Never mind, there's three. What's this? What's that all about?
ユウ先輩、助けてください。
Okay, well, hang on a minute. Shiori, here's the thing. It's a lot easier when someone else starts the conversation, right? Because then it's not you who has to come up with the topic to talk about, right? It's pretty easy. Oh, would you mind filling me in?
俺たち、仲良くしたい子がいるんだよ。
Is it because she's a girl?
でも、どうやって遊びに誘えばうまくいくかわからなくて。
どうしましょう。
Yeah. Shiori, do you have any ideas? Yeah, there's an easy... You can play tag. You can play hide and seek. You can play... Go the fuck home.
その人の気持ち次第ですが、遊びなら普通に誘ってくれたら悪くは思わないんじゃないでしょうか。私もそうでしたし。
普通に誘うか。
それができたらいいんだけど。
This whole thing was really weird. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just ask and she'll give you an answer. It's just that easy. In short, you won't know unless you say something.
でも、話しかけて失敗したら怖いじゃん。
Why would it be scary? Like, if you have... Like I said, you know, I don't know why this scene is divulging into a group of guys, a group of boys, fucking, you know, now they're the ones scared to talk to someone, and they don't know how to approach a girl to play with them.
そうそう、変なこと言って嫌われたら嫌だし。
だからどうすればいいかを知りたいんだよ。
Seriously. Okay, listen up. There's no absolute guarantee that anything you do will turn out perfectly. Everyone fails sometimes, myself included. But there's nothing wrong with failure. If you mess up, just think about what you can do better next time. What's important is to have the courage to speak up in the first place. I'll never be able to accomplish anything if you focus on your failures. If you're too shy to ask her to hang out with you, then how about you ask her to study with you sometime?
勉強
Like, I didn't understand this part. Could you teach me? Take your time and start small. You'll get to the point where you can openly talk with her. That's the goal, right? Ask her to study with you, and then you'll have an easier time getting her to play with you next time.
なるほど。確かにそうかも。
なんかいけそうな気がしてきたかも。
ありがとう。頑張ってみる。じゃあね
The boys all ran off together. Why were they asking Shiori for advice, though? Is it just because she's a girl? Kids sure have energy to burn, huh? Also, if you're asking, yes, when they were bringing up a girl that they wanted to play with at the start, I thought they were referring to Shiori, because she's also a girl. Unless the way I was talking didn't really sound like I was thinking about Shiori when the boys were referring to a girl that they wanted to play with. So, never mind.
失敗は悪いことじゃないですか。
Did you say something?
いえ、何でもありません。ただ、ちょっと頑張ってみようと思えたかもしれません。
What do you mean?
昨日話したこと覚えてますか？私が人と話すの怖くなった時のこと。
Yeah. I hadn't stopped thinking about it, actually.
私のトラウマです。あの時のように失敗したくない。もう失敗しちゃダメだって、そんな風に思い込んでいました。でも、さっきのユウ先輩の言葉に少し助けられました。
What did I say? I didn't think I said anything especially noteworthy.
はい。失敗することは悪いことじゃないんですよね。私、もうちょっと頑張ってみようと思います。いつまでもユウ先輩に心配かけたくはないですから。それに、私もいろんな人と話せるようになりたいですし。
I see. She was thinking the same way. Knowing that, I had to do my best to help her. Okay then, why don't we get back to it?
はい、そうしましょう。小さなことから一つずつですよね。
Yeah, exactly.
次はあの人とかどうでしょうか。
Who?
あそこで座っている人です。あの人が持っているバッグはきっとお孫さんが。
You did great today. I'm proud of you.
ユウ先輩もお疲れ様でした。付き合っていただきありがとうございます。
She had tried talking with several strangers afterward. However, her attempts at initiating conversation were largely unsuccessful. She seemed to be feeling better about the situation and was being more proactive overall. Wrong word. Very, very, very different adjective.
失敗してもいいんだって思うと気が楽になりました。
I see. Glad to hear that.
イメージはできたんです。あとは声をかけるだけなんですが。
Well, I think it's fine if you take things at your own pace. Pushing herself wouldn't help anyone. Shiori had worked hard today, and she truly believed she could do it all. More importantly, the Bon holidays are coming up. Do you have any plans?
特にはいつも通りでしょうか。動画も今は休止していますし。ユウ先輩のご予定は？
I need to take care of my homework first. It sucks if you put it off for too long, so I'll have to work hard on it over the holiday. I'm more surprised that he didn't do it on the first day. Not very you-like, huh?
そうですね。遊んでばかりはいられませんね。
Not very you-like of you. What? Never mind. Oh, right. I forgot to mention it before, but I'm having work put me on the night shift.
Huh?
Now we can spend time together during the day.
本当ですか?
Yeah, and you won't have to worry about keeping quiet while your parents are home because they aren't ever at home. She sounded really happy about that. Want to work on our homework together tomorrow?
いいですね。集中して終わらせましょう。
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to do it?
ユウ先輩の部屋でもいいですか?
Sure.
では、明日はお邪魔します。
I'd better clean up once I got home. There shouldn't be anything problematic for Shiori to see. Yeah.
どうかしましたか?
No. Nothing. Oh, no, nothing. I was just thinking that I should probably tidy up first before you come over.
お構いなく、特別なことなんて必要ありません。ユウ先輩と一緒にいられれば、それでいいんです。
Shiori, you're so cute.
別に普通です。
I loved it when she got embarrassed like that. She always looked so cute whenever I teased her.
それでは、今日はここで。
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Something up?
ここでお別れですから。
She gazed up at me longingly. That both can work. I knew what she wanted. We're still out in public.
少しだけなら誰にも見つかりません。それに、最初も外でしたよ。
Sure, let's do this then. I bundled Shiori's body up in my arms. Then, for a few seconds, I pressed my lips gently to hers. Nobody will see you this way, right?
はい。
No, but they will know exactly what you're doing. She curled up and clung to my chest. That way she acted... the way she acted made me want to pet her. We'll pick this back up tomorrow.
わかりました。
In the way you're thinking. Except for the fact that, well, you can't do the same thing you could do at Shiori's place. Because, well... There's a girl. There's another person in the house as well. Ritsu would probably be there, unless you could come up with an excuse. Unless Ritsu can come up with an excuse to leave the two of you alone. Like, I don't know, you could go shopping. She reluctantly pulled back. I didn't want to let her go though. All right, tomorrow.
はい、また明日。
Was this reluctance part of youth? Shut up.
駆け抜け青春、スパーキング。お邪魔します。
Come in. Sit wherever. What is it?
ユウ先輩のお部屋だなと思いまして。
Of course it is.
男の人の部屋は慣れていないので。
Are you uncomfortable? Also, I would hardly call you a man, alright? Just because you did it once or twice doesn't mean... Never mind.
少し。
Well, at least she was being honest. I thought my heart was going to pop out of my chest the first time I walked into Shiori's bedroom too. Why don't we get started on our homework?
そうですね。今日中にできるだけ終わらせたいですし。
Yeah, We could spend the rest of our holiday going out on dates if we knock out our homework in a straight shot, but that would never happen because we're in an eroge.
はい、そうしましょう。
いらっしゃい、しおりち
お邪魔しています。
ゃん。はい、お茶とお菓子どうぞ。
Thank you.
二人で課題やるの？
はい、早めに片付けておいた方が楽ですから。
私も今日やっちゃおうかな。
If that's the case, you're welcome to join us. No, that's not how it works.
私はいいよ。邪魔しちゃ悪いもん。ね、しおりちゃん。
私は別に。
それじゃあ、ごゆっくり。
ゆう先輩、律を誘ってましたけど、一緒が良かったですか？
No, I was just trying to take some safety measures.
予防線ですか？
If I invite her to join us from the start, then we can avoid her being overly suspicious of us later. I knew this was going down that direction. Everyone does. Everyone knew. I knew Ritsu would turn us down anyway. She definitely would have called me a pervert if I told her to leave us alone.
律のこと、よくわかってるんですね。さすが兄弟です。
More or less.
羨ましいです。
Huh?
私も、ゆう先輩にもっと私を知ってもらいたいです。
Shiori. And I'd like to get to know you better too.
はい。私もゆう先輩のこと、
But like,
教えてもらいます。
you know, what if it was not in a sexual way? You know, what if it was in a normal way that you would normally want to know a lot? You would. Never mind. Shiori.
先輩。
I pulled Shiori into my arms. It wasn't even 10 minutes. It hasn't even been 10 minutes. Then I leaned in for a kiss. Hold on a second. I kept Shiori at a distance and turned to the door. What are you doing?
足りないものないかなーって。
Not suspicious at all. We're fine, so leave us alone already.
ごめんなさ
Man,
見られてましたか？
probably. Like she wasn't watching. It's not like we were doing anything wrong though. Yet. We have nothing to hide, right?
はい。
Alright, you're ready to hit the books.
しないんですか？
Do you want me that bad? Do you want me to that badly?
は
I see. You really did want that kiss, huh?
もう、ゆう先輩意地悪です。
Sorry. Come on, smile. I pulled her gently into my arms and gave her a small kiss. It was so comforting that I would have loved to enjoy it for longer, but we need to study, so let's not get too carried away.
後でちゃんとしましょうね。
Yeah, and a lot more than just kissing later. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to control myself if I did anything more. But for now, it was time to tackle my homework. I was laser focused and flying through my assignments at a breakneck pace. Time passed in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, and several hours had passed. Time passed in the blink of an eye, and several hours had passed. Yeah, I guess that works. It's a bit redundant, but it can work. I have to sound snobby when I said that. Oh, we ran out of sweets.
ですね。買いに行きましょうか。
I'll go. You man the fort for me.
でも、
It's fine. It's fine. You're my guest after all.
どう しよう。
Don't do
私
don't do something he wouldn't do. Which isn't a lot in his room.
あれどうしたの？
Oh, Ritsu. I may as well ask if we had any more sweets before going out.
大したものなんてないよ。
Yeah, I figured. Oh well, guess I'll go buy some.
いいよ、私が行ってくるから。
No way. I'd feel bad.
しおりちゃんはお客さんだよ。お客さんを放っておく方がよっぽどダメでしょ。
I'm sorry. She was being nice, only to immediately scold me.
ほら、お部屋戻って。しおりちゃんと一緒にいてあげて。
Sure. Sorry for the trouble.
今度埋め合わせしてもらうからね。
She was being awfully calculating though. Calculating. What were you doing that warranted that reaction? What's wrong?
なんでもありません。早かったですね。
Ritsu said she'd go for us. You went to all the trouble to come over, so she told me to keep you company.
そうですか。後でお礼をしておきます。
Is it hot in here? Your face is red. Are you not feeling well? Yeah, it's because of the heat. Maybe you should turn on the aircon.
大丈夫です。そういうのではないので。
It suddenly dawned on me. Maybe she was on her period or something. Okay, bro. Crap, I shouldn't say that out loud.
ゆう先輩
No, it's fine as long as you're okay. Let me know if anything's bothering you.
はい。ありがとうございます。
Yeah? What should I do? What was the best way to help her in this situation? I couldn't exactly ask her directly if it was her time of the month.
課題、進めましょうか。
Yeah, of course. For now, I wouldn't touch on the subject. We've put a big dent in our homework.
はい。私もほぼ片付きました。
Same here. We should be able to finish everything and still have plenty of time to enjoy the Bon holiday? Right. We focused our attention on the remainder of our homework. It had been the same when I was talking with Shiori at her place about her videos, but I might be able to focus better than usual when I was with her. I want to pick this back up here again tomorrow.
嬉しいんですけど。その、ゆう先輩のお部屋、私にはちょっと刺激が強いので。
Don't say it like that. Huh?
ですから、その、ゆう先輩の匂いで、ドキドキするんです。
Oh. I'm sorry if you are having trouble focusing. I'll put out some air freshener or something like that. No. Don't be dumb. You know what she means.
ダメです。もったいないです。
A waste?
せっかくの匂いがなくなっちゃうじゃないですか。
What was she expecting me to do? I didn't want to force her to acclimate to it. Why not? You'd have to acclimate to it regardless if you're actually going to stay together. But she'd probably feel more at ease if she got used to my scent.
とにかく残りは家で片付けてしまいます。
Got it. Want to go have some fun tomorrow then?
はい、そうしましょう。
I'm more surprised that nothing has happened. I wonder what would be best. Let me look into it. I did a search on my phone. Where looked good for a date? What? Hey, how about this? Is that what he's typing in his phone? Or is it a typo?
リアル脱出ゲーム。
That sounds like a good idea. They're apparently pretty popular. I've been to one. I've never seen any two-person ones, so, you know, how good of a date spot it would be if it is a bit iffy. But, you know, if you want to flex your smarts. I was familiar with the term, but I'd yet to try one out myself. Let's put our heads together to solve all the puzzles and try to escape. Difficult escape rooms have a success rate of around 20%. Oh, wow, it sounds like a good challenge.
そう聞くと、やる気が出てきますね。
I mean, I have heard that Japan has their fair amount of escape rooms, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's two-person ones. Does that sound like something you'd like to do?
どういったものかは前から知ってましたし、楽しそうではあると思ってましたけど。
Sounded like fun, huh? Likely meaning she had some degree of interest in them.
もう少し詳しく知りたいです。
Sure. Let's do some more research. Hopefully there was one near Kazami City. I tried some different search terms and looked it up. Oh, they have one right around the station. Of course they do.
本当ですか？
Look.
牢獄からの脱出ですか？
Yeah, exactly. 4 people are supposed to work together to escape.
4人。
Yeah, wouldn't that be about right?
ちょうどいいって、もしかして。
It'll be a good opportunity for you to talk to other people. I mean, yeah, it leans into that part of it leans into that part of the route, so I guess it's a good idea. Narratively.
練習。そうでしょうか。
Here, look at this. I showed Shiori a page with pictures of groups of 4 solving puzzles. You pulled your wisdom with your group of 4 to break out of the place you're locked into like this. You have 1 hour to escape, and you'll need to collaborate with your team during that time.
1時間もですか？
Yeah. We'll have the common goal of puzzle solving, so it'll be alright. You're good at those types of things, aren't you?
苦手ではないです。
Don't worry, I'm sure that you could probably carry because he's meant to be smart, but he won't. I don't know what kind of character, what kind of personality does you have in an escape room? Also, think about it.
Eh?
We'll be racking our brains and spitting out ideas at a rapid pace while solving puzzles. You'll forget all about being nervous.
そうでしょうか。
You are competitive, if nothing else.
う、
It'll bug you if you're the only one who can't solve a puzzle, right?
負けません。
Perfect. That's the spirit. Also, you want to get along with all sorts of people, right?
はい。そうですね。
Alright, it's settled. We'll take on the escape room together. I always enjoyed moments like these. I'll come pick you up tomorrow.
はい。よろしくお願いします。駆け抜け青春、スパーキング。
It'll be interesting. We met up outside of Shiori's house, then made our way to the station.
あれじゃないでしょうか。
Alright, let's get in line. Where there was a line of people ahead of us. The escape room appeared to be decently popular.
昨日、リアル脱出ゲームについていろいろ調べてみました。
You did?
今回のイベントもかなり難しいと評判でしたが、 知恵なら任せてください。
Wow, you sound pretty confident. Okay, so it's either Shiori he's gonna carry, or it's you that he's gonna carry.
雑学や占いを勉強していると、いろいろな無駄知識がついていきますから。
She called it pointless.
ユウ先輩はどうですか？
I guess I can answer a reasonable amount of questions that come up on quiz shows.
では、どちらがより貢献できたか勝負しましょうか。
Oh, you want to compete? Sure, I'll take you on. In more ways than one. What? We both grinned at each other. It was nice having both the romantic and competitive elements to our relationship.
お客様、何名でのご参加でしょうか？
Oh, there are two of us.
最低4名からの挑戦になりますので、他の2名様とご一緒させていただきますが。
Yeah, that's fine.
かしこまりました。では、こちらの番号札を持ってお待ちください。
Thank you very much. When I had to go to an escape room, we couldn't really, we had the book. I don't think there's ever been a situation where you can just walk into a place and then you can just, do the escape room, right?
入場の順番が来ましたら番号をお呼びしますね。人数によって前後することだけご了承ください。
There you go. We'll wait here for a bit.
緊張して吐きそうです。
Hey, are you alright? She had looked so confident until a couple of minutes ago.
どんな人が一緒になるんでしょうか。不安です。
It'll be fine as long as you keep an open mind. We're going to compete against each other, right?
負けません。頑張ります。
I invoked Shiori's competitive nature. Yeah, but surely there's a Batsugemu, right? Surely there's a punishment for whoever loses. Instigating her like this really might be the most effective method.
今のうちに緊張をほぐしておきます。
What works best for you in these situations? What works best for you in these situations?
少し前に本で読みました。
She closed her eyes and took deep breaths. Then she patted her chest with her right hand 3 times. Is that like a spell or something?
いえ、ルーティーンというものだそうです。こうして決まった動作をすることで、いつもの調子を取り戻すことができるんだとか。
Wow. How about that? Really?
スポーツ選手がよく取り入れているそうですよ。なので、私もやってみようかと。
That was the gesture you did before.
これは私が決めた動作です。
Hang on. Athletes incorporate similar methods. Right. Is this what she does every time she hits, right before she hits the record button?
心臓が落ち着くようにと考えまして、こんな動作を関連づけてます。
You're working so hard. I'm incredibly proud of you. Okay. I patted her head. This particular gesture had become a sort of habit for me, too.
ユウ先輩に撫でられると、またドキドキしてきます。
Oh, sorry. It was quickly becoming second nature, and I really needed to work on my timing when we were out and about.
二人きりの時はいくら撫でてもらっても構わないですけど。というか、撫でてほしいです。
Yeah, don't do it in front of a crowd of people when you're in a line. Sure.
番号札35番をお持ちの方、入場口にどうぞ。
Oh, looks like our number's up.
早かったですね。
Alright, shall we? There was another couple waiting by the entrance.
35番のお二人ですね。こちらの方々とご一緒していただきます。
Sounds good.
よろしくお願いします。
She must have been roughly around our age. The young woman looked like a kind, mild-mannered girl.
よろしくお願いします。
私、スオマーサって言います。
私は柊しおりです。
柊さん、よろしくね。今日は一緒に頑張りましょう。
はい。
She seemed like a very nice person. Shiori shouldn't need to be any more anxious than necessary around someone like her.
僕は南敦です。よろしく。
The guy wore thin-framed glasses and appeared to be the studious type. I wonder if he's going to be that kind of guy. He seemed like another incredibly nice person. Tono, nice to meet you. Yeah, it's a weird name, I know. The four of us were going to take on the escape room together. We had a 1 hour time limit. The escape rate was approximately 20%. One group in five were successful.
それではどうぞ、いってらっしゃいませ。
So does this escape room only have... well...
残念でしたね。あと一歩のところでした。
Oh. They just skipped the escape room part. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Not? What the fuck? Okay. Bro, I was looking forward to it. But like, does this place only have one escape room? Usually they have a few. Usually most places that have escape rooms have more than one. This is pretty frustrating. We wouldn't have cleared it with even another 10 minutes.
失格になった皆さんそうおっしゃるんですよ。
We would have cleared it with even another 10 minutes.
来週謎がリニューアルしますので、ぜひともご参加ください。
We had reached the final checkpoint, but ran out of time. Yeah, that's what happened in my group. We reached the final checkpoint, then ran out of time. Our attempt ended in failure.
残念だったね。
はい。悔しいです。
That last part was seriously difficult.
見事にミスリードに引っかかってしまいましたね。
Alright, we get it. These two NPCs are cookie cutter, no sprite looking asses. No, can't see them looking asses, so I guess they can't really have another personality other than nice. But it was fun, right, Shiori?
はい。夢中になってしまいました。
She had been so anxious at the start that she had huddled up in the corner. However, she eventually joined in and actively participated in solving the puzzles. Yeah, it would have been nice to see, but apparently the game devs don't have enough budget to fucking to draw another background.
柊さんの発想、すごかったね。本当に初めてなの？
そんな、スオさんの経験から来るひらめきもさすがでした。
The two who paired with us apparently had experience in challenging multiple escape rooms. They filled us in on parts we weren't entirely familiar with.
それから、お気遣いにも感謝します。
いえいえ。脱出ゲーム好きが増えてくれたら私も嬉しいから。
最初の謎を解いた時の手際はとても鮮やかでした。コツがあるんでしょうか？
そうね。問題を言葉通りに受け取らないように、ひねって考えてみることかな。
謎々に近い感じでしたよね。
そうそう。中には、計算や専門的な知識が必要な場合もあるけどね。
なるほど。謎々を勉強してみるのも良さそうです。
小さな子供の方が意外と簡単に解いてしまったりするんだよね。
I mean, that is due to the fact that most escape rooms don't need you to have a certain piece of knowledge outside of the game to be able to solve all of their puzzles. So it is easier if you're younger because you wouldn't know as much stuff to bias how you think the solution would be. I don't know if that's the right way to put it.
わかります。柔軟な発想というやつですね。
柊さんの発想も柔軟だと思うよ。
そうですか？
記号を文字に置き換える問題、すぐ解いてしまったから驚いたわ。
そうでしょうか。
3つ目の謎でミスリードに引っかかってしまった時は悔しがってて可愛かったけど。
Escape rooms are kind of like IQ tests, right? Where in terms of how IQ tests work, you can still study for them, right? But not every escape room is going to be the same, right? It's going to be similar. There's going to be similar puzzles. Some may even be more similar than others, but every escape room, unless copied from somewhere else, is going to be different in the structure of puzzles, I guess.
そうでしょうか。
柊さん、最初は緊張してたみたいだったけど、楽しんでもらえたようでよかったわ。
Look, I understand that it's a visual novel, but they still need to apply the concept of show don't tell. I don't want to be told that Shiori is no longer nervous around these people. I would have preferred to see it in person. I would have preferred to see it during the escape room instead of being told afterwards, game. You had a moment. You could have, but you didn't. You didn't show it. It's like in the last scene, the scene before the homework thing, where they went to the park. They showed Hiragi interacting with people. They showed that she was, getting better at talking to people. But this time, for some fucking reason, even though the escape room does more to benefit her, it challenges her more in terms of interacting in an easier environment. I don't know how to explain it, but I would have much preferred to skip the park scene and then just have the escape room part. All right. Fucking Christ, man.
はい、とても楽しかったです。
The girls seem to be in a good mood all the way around. Like, I know I might be biased because I like escape rooms and I wanted to see how they would make an escape room, alright? But it's pretty lazy, the fact that they're just going to tell you that, oh, they did an escape room, she already solved some puzzles, she got along with the other two characters well, so on and so forth. Like, come on, man. You're explaining the general idea of what the puzzles in the escape room are. You couldn't go a step further and actually implement and actually, like, not implement, right? I don't think there would be an implementation of puzzles so that the player themselves can solve, but, like, if they weren't going to go that far and, like, have actual puzzles in their head that they can think of and then have the characters in the game solve, why implement this sort of scene in the first place? Alright, I know I'm not explaining it well, but you understand what I mean. What's the point of having this scene if they're not going to show her getting along with the other characters? Alright? Stop telling me that she did. Stop telling me that she was smart enough to solve a puzzle that the other three couldn't solve. Show me, game, alright? It didn't seem like the right time for me to interject. That was really interesting. This was my first time, but I could get hooked on this. Unless, I will forgive the game if they go to another escape room and they actually show it. Alright? but it's still not going to be as fulfilling as the first time around when she actually, you know, starts. She stops being as shy and introverted and then actually starts interacting with the other new people, right? I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one who.
でしょう。僕もマーサちゃんに勧められて始めたんですけど、もうすっかりハマっちゃって。
あつしくんったら、毎週誘ってくるの。
It sounds like you've got your hands full. He looked mature, but maybe he was more of the energetic type than he let on. しおり?
お二人は、これから時間ありますか？
私たち？
もしお二人が良ければですが、もう少し話せたらと。
しおり?
いいよ。ね、あつしくん。
もちろん。
いいんですか？
ぜひぜひ。せっかくお友達になったんだから、いっぱいお話ししよう。
お友達。
I'm trying to think. Masa is... I'm trying to think of who's voice acting the characters. Right? Because obviously Atsukishi, or whatever his name is fucking Shinji's voice actor. But Masa is... Oh, there's too many girls. I'm between like Riri and Kika. It'd be really funny if it was Shiori's voice actress, so it's just Shiori talking to Shiori. I don't think they would do that though. So I think it's Riri. I was positively over the moon when I heard Shiori's elated whisper. Would you be up for dropping by a restaurant somewhere then? This was an opportunity Shiori had worked hard for. I mean, you know, it could be the manager's voice actor for the guy, but I can't hear it. Maybe it's because I haven't heard the manager's voice enough. I wouldn't force it, but I would certainly give Shiori the push she needed.
そうですね。少しお腹も空いてきましたし。
スオさんの話聞かせてください。
柊さんの話も聞かせてね。
はい。
We got to talking, and soon learned that the two of them were the same as Shiori. They had been together since they were little, what you would call childhood friends, and had a couple few years prior, and became a couple a few years prior. Yeah, this. See, there was no transfer student for them, so never mind. Their school didn't have didn't have a hot transfer student, so he was able. So the guy was, I mean, the childhood friend girl was actually able to get with her friend instead of having to watch her friend get with the transfer student. I know what I'm saying. He also learned that the woman Suo had been the one to confess, but we also learned that the woman Suo had been the one to confess. We talked about the escape room, of course, and touched on a number of other topics. Shiori put in a continuous effort to initiate conversation, and Suo courteously responded to her. Cool. Okay, for this, I'm still miffed about, because once again they're telling us that she is initiating conversation instead of showing. I know they did it. I know they showed the first time she initiated conversation outside of the escape room, and I'm still miffed about the fact that they didn't show the escape room. But I'm fine with them not showing this. It was a wonderful experience for both of us.
今日はとても楽しかったです。ありがとうございました。
But it is a disservice to the fact that they're still using the train station background.
こちらこそ。たくさんお話できて楽しかったよ。
Regardless of the fact that the only background they have of a restaurant is the one that Yu works at, and it is pretty specific to that restaurant because of the fucking theming, but still, you know, at least with 9-9, they had a different diner that wasn't 9-ball as the background, right? That was the generic background they used. even if in the story they did always go to that one diner. So, you know, but regardless, you know, you can work around this. You can have them constantly going to the specific restaurant outside of the train station in different routes, and you'd be able to use the same background, right? I don't know. I'm being too nitpicky today, aren't I? The girls were chatting up a storm by the time we left the restaurant an hour or so later. Shiori's efforts played a part, but I was sure it was also thanks to Suo's personality.
それじゃあ、私たちはこれで、また会ったら、その時はよろしくね。
Yeah, see you later then. I don't know, maybe it's because they never showed the escape room, and now I'm disappointed that they, you know, I'm disappointed that the game devs didn't implement puzzles into the story through the escape room that me as the audience wasn't able to solve. I didn't drop anything. Shiori, I guess we should head home too. I don't know what I was saying. Shiori?
どうしたの？
Shiori called out, and those two turned back around.
私と連絡先を交換しませんか？
Listen, maybe it's because I haven't complained enough about the things in Shiori's route compared to the abundance of things that I complained about in the common route, you know? The things that didn't make sense. Like the Torii gate in the water. No, that's not one of them.
また脱出ゲームのこと教えてほしいです。
Also, the concept of the punishment never came up in the competition between you and Shiori. So, you know, there is no segue into you and Shiori getting it on because one of them lost. Shiori spoke to them of her own free will. Yes, she's done that twice, as we've seen, but apparently she's done it multiple times at the diner that we didn't see. And she was trying to trade contact info to boot.
いいよ。交換しよっか。私もしおりちゃんとはまた遊びたいなって思ってたの。
スオーさん、ありがとうございます。
マーサでいいよ。
はい、マーサ。
はい、これ。私の ID。交換しよう。
I will actively choose to forget both of their names. It would be a sin if I remembered their names and none of the other characters that have sprites. So I will choose to forget their names. But the problem is that, once again, I've already brought this up before. The things I remember in this game are the things that I've complained about in this game. So the fact that Masa and the other guy are tied to this scene that I am complaining a lot about means that I'm probably not going to forget them. But because I said that means I'm going to forget them. That's the loophole.
ありがとうございます。どうやれば。
こうやって、できた。また今度一緒に遊ぼうね。
Okay, never mind. It's Ritsu's voice actress. Hearing Masa talk more, it's Ritsu's voice actress. That's definitely Ritsu. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I was between Riri and Kika and never brought up Ritsu. I knew it wasn't Nagiko or Hibiki, right? But yeah, that's definitely Ritsu.
はい、よろしくお願いします。
遠野先輩、僕らも交換しましょうか。
Atsushi. I mean, maybe I'll remember his name because it's so unique, but I added a ku after the tsu, so, you know, yeah, good idea. I exchanged contact information with them as well.
それじゃあしおりちゃん、またね。行こう、あつしくん。
失礼しますね。
They walked off holding hands. Isn't that great? You made new friends. Yeah, if only we got to see the whole process instead of the snippet after and before the escape room and after the diner. What is it?
こんなにもすぐ友達ができるなんて思わなくて。
Like I said before, you don't need to worry so much. And here's the other thing, right? I mean, for me it would be helpful, but I'm just saying, right? You could have made a CG of her in the escape room, right? Or, you know, in the diner. It would be helpful for me for a thumbnail, but regardless. You had a common topic of interest this time around, you know? I'm glad it worked out so well.
はい、嬉しいものですね。
Shiori, you tried really hard. I gently petted her head.
はい、
Surely
私できました。
Surely this won't transition into anything spicy, right?
自分から話しかけてお友達できました。
This may not have seemed like a big deal from an onlooker's point of view, but to Shiori, this was a step that held immense significance. Alright, why don't we get going? You still have time to hang out? Right?
はい、私文房具を見に行きたいです。
Sure. I think there's a store for that nearby. We spent the rest of the day together. And we got to enjoy our date to the fullest.
今日はすごく充実した一日でした。
You certainly looked like you had a great time.
はい、初めてがいっぱいでしたから。
Shiori looked much happier than usual on our way back from our date. We usually maintained a slow but steady pace, but I could see a noticeable hop in her step.
ユウ先輩の言っていたこと実感しました。
ん？
いろんな人と話せるようにという話です。リアル脱出ゲームもそうでしたし、マーサとの話も。今日は本当に楽しかったです。
I see. I'm glad to hear that.
もちろんユウ先輩が一緒だからですよ。
Don't feel like you have to add that on for my benefit.
すみません。拗ねてしまうんじゃないかと。
I had felt a little left out, but I wouldn't have sulked. Okay, maybe a little, but only in my room.
マーサからです。
Wow, she messaged you already?
ユウ先輩、どうしましょう。
Read the message first and then respond appropriately. Or leave her unread.
マーサが夜に通話していいかと。
That sounds great. Why not talk to her?
通話なんて夜だとユウ先輩もいませんし、何を話せば。
Ah, so she's that kind of person. Alright. I'm just gonna say this. I hope Masa is not a regular character from now on in her route. Because if she is, it would be a disservice to her character to not make a sprite for her. For Masa, I mean. He hasn't been... he's whatever. He was in the background, basically. Like, during the conversation Shiori and Masa was... between Masa and Shiori. So, him not having a sprite is whatever. Let's hope that their phone call is the last time Masa is ever brought up, so that it does not feel like a disservice to the character when she does not get a sprite. Anything's fine, isn't it?
そういうのが一番困ります。ユウ先輩、今日うちに泊まりに来ませんか？
I mean, that too. That's one way to go about it. It's also an easy way to transition into a H scene eventually, you know what I mean? Never mind. As appealing as that sounds, I can't. Why not, though? It's just... It'd be so easy to, you know...
なんでですか？
This was a first for Shiori as well. To make up for it, can I come to your place tomorrow? But like, weren't you saying that you got to enjoy your date to the fullest? How could you enjoy it to the fullest if you don't go all the way? If you know what I mean.
ユウ先輩ならいつでも歓迎ですけど。
Awesome. We'll wrap up the rest of our homework in a single shot tomorrow.
どうせなら今晩からやりましょう。
Nope, I've got work tonight.
う
Oh. So that's why he can't go over to her place. Because he's a work... He got work at a different restaurant that has a background. He'll be alright. Give it your best shot. You were able to keep up a conversation just fine today, right?
それはそうですけど。
Yeah, but like, did those conversations ever involve any of Shiori's interests? Or was it all about the escape room and general stuff? Let me know how it goes tomorrow, okay?
わかりました。やれるだけ頑張ってみます。